Hey there, my name is John Belcher. I own an advertising agency by the name of Deciphered, and I'm putting together this tutorial to help people leveraging Youform understand how to leverage better tracking. This is an awesome product that has made it possible to do quizzes inexpensively. And I asked them to do a specific feature for us so that we could pass a bunch of tracking parameters. They went through and made that possible. And so I wanted to make sure that you know how to use this stuff. So, first and foremost, whenever you're using any type of marketing software, but in particular, since we do paid traffic, being able to pass tracking information from one step to another is extremely important, especially if you're going through some type of redirect like we do with Youform, to be able to pass information like UTM parameters, custom tracking parameters, click IDs from one step to the next is extremely important. And so what I'm going to go through are 3 steps. Number 1, showing you how to create hidden fields for UTM parameters and other things like a Facebook click ID. Number 2, going through and explaining how this works with buttons and redirects. And then number 3, teaching you how to assign the values from your front end to be passed through to the back end using what we call macros that are built inside of the product. So, quick setup here. I've got an example yes, no question, and then we have a thank you page. And you'll see here on the right side, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use it with a button or you can use it with a redirect. So a button obviously gives you the summary from the quiz. You click on it, it takes you over to the URL. And a redirect will automatically redirect you to the other URL so that without the button click. We prefer this method because it typically increases conversion rate, but we've seen both of them work, so either one works for you. Choose whatever, I guess, what is best for you. So that's how we say this is, they've completed the quiz and now they're getting moved to that next part of the funnel. Well, let's go through and let's talk about how to pass tracking information. So if we click here on settings and you see here hidden fields and variables. So hidden fields is what we're going to focus on. As you can see here, if you click into this, there's a couple like pre-built parameters that the team has got. So I'm going to choose these UTM parameters because this is what we leverage for a lot of tracking. So we've got our basic UTMs that are in here. In addition, we'll be able to see things that are important. So as an example for Facebook ads, if you use Facebook CLID, this is Facebook click ID. When a Facebook parameter comes onto the quiz page, this now allows us to capture this parameter in our reporting. So we can say, hey, this came from a Facebook click. And then also reference that value. So if they go to, when we do a redirect, we can pass that through. So our offline conversion tracking that we build has the ability to grab that and continue to pass that off. Youform already has built-in for form submissions, but this is really important for us for all of the other components that take place after this. In addition, if we're doing something like Google Ads, we can type in here GCLID, WBraid. Quora is C or QCLID. Once again, there's a million other things you can do here. Also, if you have something specific for your business that you wanted to do something like my_deciphered, this is something that we could pass in that would allow just for our own. We've got this set up with our CRM, whatever it is. You can put any type of parameter in here that will allow you to capture the information in the hidden field. So it's going to do a couple things. When a submission takes place, it's actually going to chart these inside of Youform so you can see these different parameters. And then also now it allows you to go through and use them in your redirect. Okay. So I'll click save here. And now they tell you this is basically what you should be passing through if you wanted to be able to represent all of this information. I'm going to come back here to build and I'm going to do a thank you page. So I'm going to call this one button. I'm just going to call this button. And so for our button link, I'm just going to do this to Youform. I'm going to do a question mark. This starts a query string and we'll use UTM medium. So I'm setting the value of UTM medium that I want to pass on equals, and then I'm going to use the @ sign. And now you can see these are all of the hidden fields. So anything here with the eyeball with the dash, the slash through it is the hidden fields. These are called macros that we can now reference and pass on to the next page. So if I put UTM medium in there, now we can have youform.com question mark, which starts the query string, UTM medium equals that same UTM medium value. And then if we want to add something else, we add an ampersand sign, and then we'll do UTM source equals @UTM source and UTM campaign campaign equals at UTM campaign and UTM content equals at UTM content and UTM term equals at UTM term. And then I'll do one more for Facebook click ID since most people do Facebook advertising equals FBCLID. Okay, cool. So we've got this in place. I'm going to click publish now. Okay. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. And so I'm going to show you a couple things. So I'm going to use the question mark sign and I'll do UTM medium equals test and FBCLID equals test. Okay. So now we've got our parameters in here. I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to submit this. And then on our button, once again, we can see right here, if you look down here in this lower corner, you can see that there's information. So it's our youform.com, and then it's got the different parameters. You can see right here, UTM medium equals test, and UTM and Facebook click ID equals test. If I change this to test 5, and I come back here and I do this again, if I just click on, if I hover over this button, we can see that it's referencing UTM medium equals test and Facebook click ID equals test 5. That's how we know it's assigning macros from our parameters to our click through. And so if I click over here, we can now see youform.com and it's passed all of this information across. Okay. Awesome to be able to do that. If I come back here to my form and I change this to a redirect, I'm just going to click on button and I'm going to copy this exact same information, go to redirect, and it's going to do the same thing, but now it's going to do it automatically. So they're not going to have to click on the form. So I'm actually going to go back here and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'll click example, submit, and now there's no button. This is just the redirect and it's going to pass through and you see that same parameters have come through. So this is how we leverage Youform to allow us to capture all of the parameters that are important and then pass them through to whatever's after our form so we can leverage those exact same tracking parameters across the board. The final piece here is if you come back and now you want to see your submissions, we'll go into results and we can see under submissions, we can see that we've got in here these different parameters. So I had test for each of these and then I had test and test 5. These are all being logged now. So if we want to keep track of these different components, we have the ability to do this. It'll also layer in some of the different information that's important for you with emails and whatever else it is that you're capturing at obviously a very simple form. But that's essentially what's taking place here. All of these things are completed. So we have everything that we need to be able to take care of business.